What's up, my dudes? My name is Sister Turley, and in this video, I'm just going to be talking about will No Man's Sky be easy or will it be hard? So, all we've really seen so far as the creatures go, is more herbivore, passive type creatures. We've seen a couple of crabs walking about their business. We've seen a little goat that was ramming Sean Murray a few times, and he could shoot beside it and it would get scared and run away, but there's a lot more to this game, I promise you, okay? There's actual predator creatures out there that will hunt you down, and if you guys noticed in one of the last IGN videos where they showed off the 5 new planets, there was actually one really desert planet that had a lot of dust on it, and you could see faintly in the background what looked like a raptor or a T-Rex type creature, and I promise you, if you walk up to that and you shoot beside it, it's not going to get scared and run away. It's going to attack you. It's going to actually try to hunt you down and eat you, okay? I feel like that's one thing that the developers have really tried to keep secret from us. They've tried not to show us very much of that side of the game where it's got the really dangerous, real predatorial type creatures on it. So, but the cool thing to think about is a lot of these planets have weather effects that really affects the actual gameplay, not only in just a actual exploration sense, but also makes the planets way more dangerous, because you can't just have a planet, for instance, always that's really clear and you can be like, oh, look at that dangerous creature over there, let me try to avoid it. For instance, that desert planet had a ton of dust on it, so you couldn't see more than, like, what, 20 feet in front of you or 30 feet in front of you, and any sort of predatory creature can just jump out of the dust and be attacking you in like 3 seconds. So that's a really cool side of the game that we just have not seen much of at all, and it also applies to planets that are really foggy, or for instance nighttime planets. See, the cool thing about this game is every one of the planets has a daytime and a nighttime, and when you're looking at the planet from in space, you can actually see the light side and the dark side, and that's really cool because you can choose, like, oh, this planet looks cool, let me fly to the night side, or let me fly to the day side. But could you imagine being in the middle of a really thick forest jungle at nighttime and you have no idea what kind of creatures are there at all? You literally have no idea. I could just imagine myself walking around and then seeing a little baby squirrel type creature and being like, oh my god, dude, what is that? Just like walking around at nighttime. We haven't really seen planets that are really, really dark on this game, but I promise you it's going to be in there, man. And you can have any sort of dangerous predatorial. It can be anything from a raptor to something that's like a trimmer type creature. If any of you guys remember those old school movies, that made me think about something really cool. I don't know if creatures can be underground like a trimmer type creature. I'm not sure if that's possible, but you can have some really mean, gnarly looking alien creatures in this game. I promise you, something that is not going to make you just say, oh, look at that beautiful creature, because it's going to have its mouth wide open running at you full speed. And I promise you, there's going to be some creatures in this game that can run faster than you. So just think about that, man. You better have a plan, and your gun may not be powerful enough, or your laser, whatever you want to call it, may not be powerful enough to save you. So not only can the planets be dangerous as far as they can be really hot or cold or have like more acid on them, and I even think there's more elements that can be on the planets than what they've shown, because I think there can be like radiation on the planets and no telling what else. So there's all different types. It's not as simple as just, oh, I'm going to land on this new planet and let me go look at everything, and oh, look at all these little creatures, they're so cute, look at all of them walking around. It's not like that, man. You can show up to a planet and it's 500 degrees hot, and you've got to have your suit upgraded in a way to where you can even survive in that, or you've got to find shade or stuff like that, and then it's real dusty on the planet and you can barely see faint objects out in the distance, and oh my gosh, there's a raptor running at me all of a sudden. So these planets can be very, very dangerous. So I feel like a lot of people forget about the survival aspect to this game. They think it's just I'm flying around and looking at all this stuff, or I'm just walking around and, oh, look at that, look at this, and look at that, look at this. But I feel like a lot of people think like that, but you got to remember there's a whole survival side to it. Like, you've got to try to keep yourself safe on these planets. It's not, all these planets are not just welcoming you in. I promise you that. They're not doing that. But another thing is, you think about going underwater in this game, and some water in this game is really clear and you can see pretty far, but there's going to be some water in this game that's really murky where you can't see a foot in front of you. So just pictures of being deep down in an ocean that's really murky, and there could be any sort of creature down there that could attack you at any second. And Sean Murray said that there's some creatures out there that can kill you in one hit. So just picture that, though. Like, this game's going to be a whole lot more of a exciting, almost horror side to it on some planets, where you're going around underwater and you can't see very far, and there could be any kind of predatory creature under there that could try to swallow you at any second. But it's almost similar to how in real life, like, we don't know everything that's in the ocean. We really don't. And trust me, I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh, it's a giant squid out there, dude, let's go capture it. I'm really not one of those guys. But even further than that, you could think about a planet that is nighttime, on the nighttime side of it, and you go underwater. Just picture that. The water has to get darker when it's nighttime outside, so just picture murky water on top of that, so then you really can't see it all under the water, and then it's really scary, and you're deep down underwater in an underwater cave. And even like, if you do have a light, that might make it even more creepy, because you can kind of see under the water just right where your light is shining. But man, that would be crazy. Like, even in this trailer right here, you can see this planet is nighttime, but there's a lot of really luminescing, lit up type things on this planet. Not all of the dark night side of the planets are going to be like this. Some of them are not going to have any sort of light on it, or it's not going to be really luminescent like that on every single planet. Some of the planets are going to be really, really dark. So there's going to be a creepy, you don't know what's out there kind of thing, and anything could attack you at any second. So but the thing you got to remember about this game is you have to play the game to progress in it. You can't just fly to a bunch of random planets and be like that. Like, you got to go down to these planets, you got to mine the resources to upgrade your ship to even be able to go to more planets. So you have to play the game to even be able to progress through it. And that's something that a lot of people look at this game like it's just let me go to this planet, let me go to that planet, let me go to this planet. And it is like that in a sense, but you have to do things on these planets to progress. So you almost are forced to discover things on these planets and explore these planets, and you'll find yourself in all different scenarios. And that's the cool thing, is it's just like forcing you to be an explorer. So it's cool. You don't have to, but like, you can get resources up in space from asteroids and things like that. But it's cool because, for instance, like, when you first start in the game, your ship is not going to be very upgraded. It's not even going to have a hyperdrive on it. So you're going to be stuck in one solar system until you upgrade your hyperdrive. So you're going to sort of be forced to actually go to those planets. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to skip that planet. Like, you kind of have to go to those planets in that first solar system so that you can get money, so that you can upgrade your ship. And I think about the planets that are really hostile, and like, for instance, the acid type planets. Just think about, upgrading your suit, upgrading all that stuff, and then getting to a really dangerous planet like that, and then swimming down to the bottom of an acid lake, and then finding some crazy creature. And that would be such an achievement, because it was so hard to get there, and it was so challenging to get there. And it's like, wow, I discovered this creature in this acid lake, and I almost died trying to find it. And there's so much more survival, dangerous, difficult elements to this game that have not been shown yet. It's going to be a challenging game. It's not going to be super easy, and I feel like getting to the center of the universe is not going to be an easy task. I mean, you really have to play the game to even do that, to even progress from planet to planet and actually survive in this universe. So but yeah, man, that'll really get you going when you start thinking about the actual predator type creatures. Because I mean, yeah, there's creatures out there that are docile and herbivores, and they look cool, and you can shoot at them and kill them. But there's some creatures that you can just be minding your own business, and it's looking for you. I mean, it's hunting you down, and it's not just a raptor. It can be anything your mind can imagine. It could be hunting you down at any point in time, and it could be only one creature on that one planet that, you know, you could think it's totally barren on a planet. You don't see any creature at all, and then all of a sudden it's nighttime, and you're over here swimming in a little lake or something, and all of a sudden a ginormous squid creature comes out of the water and swallows you. I mean, that can happen in this game. Those are the types of things that can happen that they've not even shown anything like that yet, but it can be in this game. And that's kind of in the IGN video, it gave you a little taste of that when you seen the not the tropical planet, but the toxic planet, I should say. And then the dusty planet where, see, I didn't even really know the weather effects could actually affect the gameplay that much, but it really does. Like, you can't see as far, so the exploration is cool. Like, you see a faint object in the distance, like, oh, let me go see what that is, instead of just seeing it. You know, you're going to have all different types of gameplay elements on each one of these planets. So, you know, you add all of that together and it'll make for a really fun gameplay experience. I mean, it has to. For the stuff we've seen and the things they've said is going to be in the game, I don't know how it couldn't be anything but fun. You know, it has to be fun. I mean, just, that's crazy, all the different things that can be in it. But you can have anything from a tiny creature to a humongous creature to no telling what. There could be creatures in space, floating out in space, like a space whale that could just swallow your ship out of nowhere. I don't know. There could be all sorts of things. So just remember, this game is not going to be as easy and just walk through the park as a lot of people think. It's a dangerous world out there on some of these planets, and like in every sense of the imagination, and I mean, just the weather effects that can change the gameplay like that, and then going underwater at nighttime. Oh, dude, that's like being out in the middle of the ocean at night and you have no idea what's under your feet. Like, that's crazy, man. That's a sketchy feeling for sure when you don't know what. And see, even on Earth, we might think, oh, there's a shark under us, but in this game, there can be anything. There can literally be any sort of creature under you. So it's scary, man. It's crazy, but it'll be a fun game. So anyways, I appreciate all of you watching these videos, and I'll keep on making them.